An example. I had a company that was in the service business, and in this particular business, they had lots of vehicles, and they were doing had lots of drivers, and they were on the radios all the time. And what was absolutely incredible about this company was the language. The women that manned the radios and the phones were as foul-mouthed as the drivers. I mean, these people were they were bad. They were really, really bad. So I said, you know what? You're talking on the radio here. Everybody's going to hear this language, and that's the image that your company has. And they go, well, who cares and whatnot. So the ownership of the company said, you know what? You're right. We need to not have this kind of language. So in every weekly meeting, I began to focus on this language. I began to work on this language. And after a couple of weeks, one of the employees said, I've heard this thing that if you say a bad word, you got to put a quarter in this jar. I said, sure, let's try that. Sure, let's try it. So they put it out on the desk there, and they filled it up in several weeks. But what happened was, after 3 months, that language disappeared. And I'm not saying that they never said a bad word on the radio again, but what they did do was the behaviors were changed. And had I said, well, we need results today, immediately it's got to stop, that wouldn't have worked. Because with behavior modification, you cannot make huge leaps. People just don't operate that way. Behavior is very hard to change. So you take little tiny steps, you focus on those, and then the next week you do another little step. And then what happens is it accumulates, it aggregates over a period of time, and then these behaviors begin to sort of shrink into the ranges. Behavior is not one particular point. Usually behaviors fall within a range. And as you're looking at creating through your culture and attitude the appropriate behaviors in your employees, it's important to know the range of that behavior. And often if you're open to that range, it will allow an individual's personality to sort of fit into their job. But it keeps them focused on what the company, and it keeps the attention focused on the company and not on themselves. And certainly not on the management, us versus